Hey, good morning, class. Happy Monday. It's the 21st. Today we're going to take a look at our essential question for reading. It is, how can science help you understand how things work? Now, picture yourself at Six Flags Great America. You enter the X Flight. That happens to be my favorite ride. And you sit down in the seat, and this big, huge bar comes over the top of you, and you click it in. Does anybody know why they put that big safety bar over you and click it in and then grab it to make sure you're going to fall out? Well, the X Flight has a couple of those loop-de-loops, right? A couple times when the X Flight flips over, it's kind of got that one that turns as you're going a long ways like that. I really love it. Did you know that safety bar does not hold you in place while you're doing the loop-de-loops? Actually, the safety bar is only there to stop you from flying out when they come to that big stop at the end. That's when you feel the safety bar. On those loop-de-loop ones, actually, well, you're moving so fast that you're getting pressed back in your seat, and that's why you don't fall out when you go upside down. Kind of crazy. Next time you're there, go ahead and put your hands up and scream your brains out, and then feel with your body if you can feel that bar holding you in. And most of the time, you won't be able to feel it. Only when you come to that screeching halt. Well, science can help us out with those things. We're in our small book today to introduce our chapter this week, and it's all about motion, ideas in motion. How does it work? I'm on page 60 and 61. There you can see some pictures of some kids having some fun on a roller coaster. Kids and adults, I love roller coasters. Science can help us understand a lot of things, from how to throw a curveball in baseball to what happens when you ride a roller coaster. Look at this picture. What keeps these people from falling out? Let's use science to find out. The first bullet there says, how do you stay in place during the loop-de-loops? The force created by the acceleration presses you against your seat of your coaster. Notice it's not the bars. And number 2 there, what kind of rides have you ridden at an amusement park? What did you like about them? I don't know about you, but I like those big swings. Have you ever ridden those big swings? They first raise you off the ground, and then you go nice and slow, and then pretty soon you're swinging out way out to the side. Now, why when you're going around in a circle do you go swinging way out to the side? Well, if you got a little brother and silly, maybe you should do that. Pick them up gently by their hands and go around real slow. Real slow. They'll probably just stay, then go around real fast. And you know what's going to happen to their feet? They're going to swing out to their side. Well, this week in reading, we want to ask why? Why does that happen? And the answer to why does something happen out there in the real world is probably science. And so this week, we're going to have the genre of narrative nonfiction. Narrative means it's told like a story, but it's nonfiction, it's true. And it's going to be actually written in some forms of some comic strips. And a lot of times we think of comic strips, we think everything's made up. No, this is nonfiction. This is going to be all true. It's going to be all science. Science, science, science. And it's going to answer our questions about motion. Well, turn the page. Let's check out the vocabulary words. Now, a lot of our vocabulary words this week are science words as well. Our first one is accelerate. And the sentence says, I saw the race car accelerate or speed up across the finish line. And so we found the definition right inside of that sentence, to speed up, to move or to cause to move faster. And what an amazing picture this is to help us remember that. A race car taking off, its wheels are spinning, it takes off, it's accelerating, getting faster and faster and faster. In fact, in your cars, and your parents are driving, some people call it a gas pedal, and you step down on the gas pedal. Some people call that the accelerator. When I step down it, my car goes faster. All right, the second one is advantage. The sentence says the father's size gave him an advantage over his son. Some of the things that we're going to be learning this week about motion is weight has a lot to do with it. And so the father has an advantage because he is much bigger, right? Okay, well, what's advantage? Something that's helpful or useful. Something that is helpful or useful. If I'm carrying a big, huge box and it's really super heavy, I might use a cart instead. I might just put it on my wheelie cart and then wheel it. That would give me an advantage to being able to move something that's heavy. I love this picture. I would love to be able to be a potter or to try doing pottery sometime. Maybe you have ever done this. Put a piece of clay on the spinning wheel. It spins and spins and spins, and then you put your hands on there and you mold this. Well, the word is capabilities. The capabilities of the potters included strength and creativities. Capabilities, definition is means to have the needs or skills or powers or abilities. You might have some capabilities to be an unbelievable basketball player. You practice all the time. Those are your abilities, your capabilities. Maybe you have the capabilities of being really, really gifted in piano playing. That would be one of your skills or your abilities. The fourth one, the bottom of page 62 says friction. The friction between the tires and the pavement slowed the airplane down. It's like slamming on the brakes of a car. And that's friction. You can make friction with your hands when two things rub against each other. And if you feel that, it feels like you warmed your hands up a little bit. Friction usually produces heat. Friction is a force between surfaces, my hands, that slows objects or stops them from moving. The harder we press down, the easier it is to stop something. Top of the next page, gravity. Notice they are all science words this week. Gravity helps pull the batter down into the baking pan. Now, there's two forms of batter. One is I'm a baseball batter and I'm going to swing and hit the ball, but this is not that. It's like food batter. So you got cookie dough. If you got cake, you usually don't call it cake dough. You call it cake batter. So the gravity, she picked that up, she turned it over, and everything oozed out. Well, what's gravity? Gravity is a force that pulls objects towards each other. Now, most of the time when we talk about gravity, we talk about things pulling each other to the earth. If I was going to take my little paper clip here and drop it, it's going to go down. Gravity pulls it down. But did you know that there are other things out there that have gravitational pull? For example, our sun up there, it's huge compared to our Earth, and it actually is pulling the Earth towards it. Well, we're going to learn this week that the Earth is actually getting pulled away from it too. The faster that the Earth travels around the sun makes the Earth get pulled away from the sun, and the gravitational pull of the sun pulls us through there. And so the Earth stays in its spot, its orbit around the sun, because these two forces are acting on the Earth at the same time. All right, identity. The woman showed her passport to prove her identity. What's an identity? Who a person is or what a thing is. Now, people have identities, and so do things, all right? The identity of a Dorito chip is they're usually kind of a reddish-orange color, right? They have that reddish-orange dust on them that gets on your fingers that makes you want to lick your fingers. Don't lick your fingers during a pandemic. And they're usually crunchy, and they're usually in the shape of a triangle. So we gave it its characteristics of a thing or its identity. Inquiry. That's a little bit strange word. It's got a QU in it. Inquiry. Inquiry. The reporters ask questions at the beginning of the inquiry or investigation. That's what an inquiry is. It's an investigation. You're searching for information. So detectives who work on cases, they're going to have an inquiry. We're going to try to talk to people. We're going to try to get some witnesses. We're going to try to collect some evidence. And we're going to try to figure out what happened to make something go wrong, or what happened to make something go right. And so we're going to figure that out with an inquiry. And the last one's thrilling. It means to be excited. Going on a roller coaster can be exciting and thrilling. And there's my roller coaster picture there. Seems like the kids are pretty fired up about that. All right, so we got an introduction to our vocabulary words. On the next page, we're going to have our story, and I'll give you a little help on your assignment.